some people are never going to be happy. So I was saying, like, we got to work as a whole person. You got to deal with the inside stuff and the outside stuff and make sure you're supporting yourself as a whole, because the outside's never going to fix it.
So how did you get to a place where you decided, okay, I'm taking care of my body. Now I'm doing this holistic health. And now I'm not doing the night eating, and I'm actually healthy, right? And nutrition is paramount. My mental health is good. Everything is balanced. Okay, how do you go from that to now, let me compete?
Yeah. And that was a big one. I actually said I wouldn't compete again.
I know.
But then I also had always said I want to get back on stage after having a baby.
Look at you.
Just to show, like, and to use my knowledge and show, like, I know what I'm doing. And I'm also doing it very much for me. This is really not, I don't give a hoot what anyone thinks. I'm like,
you never really have.
No.
No, I mean, maybe that's the best part about going into this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to show myself what I can do. I want to showcase my knowledge. And what kicked it off was I was listening to podcasts one day, and I hadn't listened to podcasts in forever. And one came up about the fit model division. And I've always said, I'm like, I just wish bikini, because I was thinking bikini, I wish it was more like it was when it first started, because it was a little less intensely muscular and a little less lean, because I just prefer that personally, aesthetically. And it's kind of where my body naturally goes. Even when I do the hardcore bodybuilder approach, I'm always like a little bit softer and a little bit less muscular than a lot of bikini girls. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, it's my time.
And you've been talking about that.
Yeah.
So how many times have you competed?
Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And how old were you when you started?
Around 20. No, I was 29.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I love that. So you weren't like you were in your teens. It wasn't like you were,
And I was a late bloomer, as I talked about, to the fitness world. So I only really started building, like 27, 28. And that's where
you competed.
And then I competed.
What made you do that?
I was so fascinated by bikini competitors. I was seeing them in magazines, and I was like, these women are eating a ton. I was saying they look like beautiful aliens to me. It's like, they're muscular, but they're glam. Like, they're the whole package. And I just thought, this is so empowering. I love that, because I love a little glam. I love a little beauty, but to do it in such a strong, badass way. I became obsessed. And then when I discovered it was this science and this almost like meditative process, I just fell in love with it.
So when you first competed, you did very well. I mean, you always have. At every competition that I've seen, that you've done really well. So what goes into it?
It's a lot. And it's funny because
is it healthy?
No.
No. That'd be my excuse for never doing it. I said, I don't want to be in the geriatric section trying to compete anyway. Go ahead.
Don't do it for health. It's more of a mental test. But it's not the healthiest thing. And that's why I do like the fit model vision, because I know, and that's why I'm coaching myself, I'm going to do it in my healthiest way possible.
Okay.
But it can easily become very unhealthy. I was very lucky to work with the same coach that you used, Red, who we did it in the healthiest way possible. I never lost my period. I had my calories still at an okay level the whole time. And honestly, I was saying, like, I'm so healthy my whole prep until the last month, where you have to push boundaries to get to a level that most people don't look like to be on stage and really showcase your muscle. And so it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not the healthiest thing. You are pushing the same heavy weights while reducing your energy intake, because you're dropping carbs, you're dropping fats, you're keeping your protein high, but those energy tools you don't have as much of. So you're kind of going on empty. And that part isn't just dangerous, but that's where you get that, like, that look that most people don't have, because most people don't want to be that uncomfortable. And to do it in the most healthy way possible, you understand that's a very short-term thing.
Okay.
And you have a healthy metabolism from eating really well your whole prep, and then you're just dropping a little bit more. And then as soon as you're done, you bring those calories back up, and you accept that there's going to be a little fat gain. Comes with the package. But most people don't understand that. Everyone's like, oh, I want to look like you on stage. And I'm like, well,
There's a whole lot you got to do
there's
to
a
look like that.
lot behind that. We just think it's like
No,
a
because
little diet.
there's posing and there's the whole.
And there's a science to the diet and the training and all of it. But I'm someone, I love discipline. I love being creative. And so I enjoy the process.
And how old are you now?
Oh God, 38, 39 in October.
Look in there. You look fantastic. So what section or what area or what age group are you competing with? Or
I'm in masters now.
come on,
35 plus.
now does it go any, so does it is it 35 to 40, 35 to 50,
I
35?
think it's 35 to, I feel like there's a 50 plus,
We'll see that with it. Yeah, 50 something.
which I'm excited because I don't want to be with 20-year-olds. I also have some loose skin from having a baby,
Fake?
which is going to be a little more common with 35 plus year olds.
Yes.
So
Most of them have children. Most
Yeah.
people have children.
and some people don't have loose skin, but you know,
Oh well.
like I'm a flat water diet and that's
Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to give us a little moment. I want you to get situated, and so that we can see what's underneath all of this, so they can see what's going. I mean, you get ready to compete. You'll be on stage, right? So let this be your stage. I want to see. I want to exactly. I want to see what this looks like because. So okay, how long have you been training toward? No, your competition is in November, and so how long have you been training toward that end?
Well, it's funny because I feel like this is like years in the process because I did train through pregnancy and after. And now all I'm doing is like fine tuning and tweaking, which is why it's so cool. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm suffering, but I know what to do just to kick things up a notch. And then I'll have to keep doing that, obviously. But yeah, it's been a long process. It's been about 3-4 months of actually being like, hey, I'm going to compete. Let's take it up.
Just 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me let you get over here and change or whatever she's going to do and transform, and then let's see what we got going on.
And you'll see too, like muscle relaxed looks very different than muscle engaged. And like this is not a fit model pose. I'm going to show you. Like if I spread my lats, like it's a totally different thing than if I'm just standing relaxed.
Right.
But for fit model, we really want to get the waist small. We're going to pop the quads, so we're going to pop the glutes too. We're going to do a bit of a twist, and then we're coming forward.
Wow.
And with that shoulder pump, that waist coming in, quad popping a little. I'm still working on that part, and down. And
Wow.
we're going to, it's just a front and back pose, but you need to transition. So I'm going to do just like a little boom, pop the glutes, and then we're going back, really popping the glutes here. You cover your back, unfortunately, because my back is strong. You're going to do a little shift back to the front and then back to your front pose here.
Wow.
You're still mastering the posing, but yeah, it's a whole contortion.
Look at your arms.
I'm getting everything.
Look at the arms, and then the abs, and then this is where you just had the baby. Look at this. Here. Yeah. And how old is the baby?
He's 2 1/4.
Good night.
Yeah. So we're here. So again, you're showcasing, your strength here. And it's a softer look. So I'm still building muscle and arms, but they don't need to be like bikini's gotten huge shoulders. This is a much softer natural physique, which comes more naturally to me anyways.
Wow. Excellent. Look at you. Yay. And how do you feel?
Amazing.
Do you feel strong?
I feel strong. I feel just good.
You feel good all the way around.
Because I'm not doing an intense, heavy bulk, which I find a little strenuous. And I'm not doing a crazy cut either. I'm working in a zone that feels much healthier to me. I'm eating a good variety, enough to support myself, and training as heavy as I can. It just feels great, but not to a detriment. I'm doing very moderate cardio, very moderate. I feel like I could do more health-wise. It's an extreme, and again, there's some really bad coaches too, which I was lucky not to have. But some coaches will push people to such an extreme, and they'll be on really strict meal plans instead of macros, and their calories will be cut so low, and their cardio will be so high. And once these people are finished, their hormones are a mess. They've lost their period. They're binging. Oh wow, it's dangerous. And that's a lot of like what people see in bodybuilding and why a lot of people deem it unhealthy. So I would say it kind of depends.
Whole life. How did your husband feel about you doing this?
He knows I love it, and he's proud of me. He doesn't like feel the need to do it himself or anything. And I think no one's like super excited about their wife being ethnic about sticks. But he knows me, and I've always done, swimsuit photo shoots. And I remember people used to say, "Oh, does your husband mind?" Which that was such a weird question. And so I asked him, and he said, "It makes you happy and it makes you confident." And he goes, "I know if I told you not to do something, you'd do it more."
Well, they got that spirit too. So, but you all are, again, we're talking about fit image. It has to do with everything holistically. It has to do with our relationships, and necessarily not being okay with it, but it does take the strain off of it if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he knows that I like to pursue things. And it's funny because I've heard him talk to other people about me in it. And so many people go, I couldn't do it. She's so brave. And he's like, yeah, I know she's amazing. So I know he respects it.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he couldn't do it. Like, and that's the thing, I don't think of it as brave, but a lot of people are like, I could never do that.
No. Is it an art, a sport?
Well,
as an art and a sport.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many people do you think you're going to compete against this time?
I think you have no idea. I could be like, it's in Las Vegas. So I'm thinking there's a good,
in your category. Because remember, it's age. Is it weight too?
No,
just age.
And you never know. Like, I've been at shows where it's like me against one person. I've been me against like 30 girls. Like, that's the crazy thing. You never know. Like, I think because it's Las Vegas, it should be a good turnout.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. Yeah. So I could show up and look the worst, or I could show up and look the best. Like, you just don't know.
So are you judged based against the other person, or are you judged based upon whatever the requirements are for your composition? In other words, if no one showed up, how would they judge you?
You just get first.
Now what if you showed up and you were the only one, but you looked a hot mess?
They would tell you. You'd still get first, but they would come to you after and be like, "What are you doing?
What are you doing here, Deborah? Dr. Wilson? We understand that you're feeling confident and comfortable, but we're not sure why you decided that." Maybe you took a wrong turn and you showed up on the wrong stage. You might have thought you were going to watch something, but you showed up. No, seriously.
So that's why you have to do it for yourself, and you do want to meet the standards of the division.
There are standards?
Yes.
Okay. What are the standards?
So this one is very particular. They want overall balance. So you're not going to have extra huge glutes compared to your shoulders, compared to anything. Like, nothing stands out like crazy. It's just very symmetrical, strong, nothing dropping or hanging.
That's what I would lose. We're talking about the dropping, and you're going to get that.
You have to walk with an arch in your back, and I keep forgetting. And it is a game changer when you do it properly, because you don't want anything that's like, everything as like perky up, strong, fit as possible.
I'm talking about the whole breast area. Yeah,
no, there's
not to the knees. We needed to come up.
I have a double padded suit.
Oh, okay.
We're lying. But you're allowed to know, but linebackers have implants, so it's my version.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But I mean, hey, if that works. Oh, that's a good question. Do they allow for that? Do they allow for cosmetic surgery, implants, tummy tuck? I mean, because people have children. So do they allow, how does that work when you're in bodybuilding and when you're competing and in overall health? What do you think about plastic surgery?
I'm mostly doing natural competitions. This will be through the NPC, but it is NPC natural. As far as I've known, you can have breast implants, tummy tuck, but just no butt implants, muscle implants, anything. You can be taking steroids, anything that could enhance your musculature. But boobs and tummy tuck, I've seen tons of that. So
you can't do like a BBL. You can't do like a fat transfer.
Yeah, because that would be like, and because you're being judged. It's not because it's not nothing you're being judged for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, and what do you think about that outside of competition? How unhealthy do you think are some of these plastic surgeries that you see people doing these days?
There's such mixed information, you know. And I think, like with everything, I tell people, I'm like, as long as if it's for yourself and you're not harming yourself or taking away from your life or your family or your finances, like if it's something that's really empowering to you, I'm all for it. I love aesthetics, you know. Like for me, I was like, consider doing something with my boobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, then I can't hold my toddler. The recovery takes a long time. Like, I'm not going to take away from his life to do that. So maybe one day in the future, also, if I'm a little more financially secure, it's something I would think about. But then you also have to consider all the factors. Like, there's a lot of breast implant illness, they're saying now. So do you want to take that risk? But I would say, like, it's your body, it's your life, it's your choice. I don't judge anybody ever.
Well, when I was thinking about competing back in the day when I was working with both you and Red, one of the things that happened is I had gotten really laid, but my boobs weren't big. And you talk about symmetric, and they were not symmetric. And I remember Red saying, that's, and it's just like, no, but no, seriously. I mean, it wasn't symmetric. So I did, not just because of that, because I had stopped all of that, but I had a breast reduction because of my shoulders and things like that. And so my insurance, of course, covered it. But my point was, when you do that, I don't think people realize our bodies are framed. God made our bodies to be framed the way that He framed it. So when you do that, when I had the breast reduction, then what's underneath your breast that you never see because they were covering it, like your stomach, that you see something different. Yeah, your body is like it is for a reason. Yeah. I know people that if they do have implants, they have implants, rather they have to do something for their back because your back has to be able to support the weight. And so, just getting stuff, we have to think about things. When we just try getting, chopping stuff off or getting stuff reduced, there are implications to that. That's why when you see these women with the BBLs, sometimes it looks good, but sometimes it looks weird because they have no legs. Yeah. Right?
That's always the telltale sign.
That's always the telltale the legs. Yeah. It's okay to do things. I think that, and this is just Debbie, that I think that there's a balance with everything. And I think that if you're going to do a fat transfer, if you're going to, accentuate your bottom or things like that, that you should make sure that you have the legs to support it. I think it's dangerous, because, it's weird because you have this, and then, like you said, you have the butt, then you have the legs. And so, I just know that for me, fit image has been for me an issue of when you go through a divorce. You talked about going through a divorce. I went through a divorce after I had preeclampsia. And when I had preeclampsia, I had the worst stretch marks. And so you're talking about leaving a marriage and that was in my 20s, and then having this body that was once very, very beautiful and then completely scarred and marred. And so that image really jacked me up emotionally and internally. Yeah. And even though I exercised and I lost the weight and I looked, I guess, halfway decent, outside there were still this internal thing, because as soon as I took off my clothes, I had all of this shame because I had the stretch marks. And then you have the skin and the fold, and you have all, especially if you have a C-section, right? Because I had my second child, I had a C-section. And so if you could just talk to some women that maybe perhaps feel like they're on a different side of life, where maybe they're not married, or maybe they were married, the husband, they lost them through death or through a relationship that failed, but now their body doesn't look the way that it once looked. And so how do you overcome that? Yeah. And does what you're talking about, the bodybuilding and the leaning and all that, can that body composition help that?
Not always. If it's internal and it's emotional, some people can get in the best shape of their life, but they're still going to see every flaw. I even had a friend who got in shape, and she's like, I can see my cellulite more because she's leaner. And she's just like, some people are never going to be happy. So I was saying, like, we got to work as a whole person. You got to deal with the inside stuff and the outside stuff, and make sure you're supporting yourself as a whole, because the outside's never going to fix it.
So that's why I don't have a problem with cosmetic surgery or plastic surgery like you. I think that women should do what they need to do to feel good about themselves. But when does it get to a place to where it's dangerous?
I think anything could be like anything that becomes obsessive and that's not for the right reasons. And again, if you're putting your health at risk, your family at risk, your finances at risk,
it's very expensive.
That's not healthy. But, I'm all for you. It's your body and your choice. You do what you need to do. And I will never judge. But I think we know when that behavior is unhealthy too, like where it feels almost like we're taking it too far and it's something else. That's where maybe step back and work on the emotional part as well and figure out what's going on. It's so easy to take things too far. And one thing I love about bodybuilding and health is, I think they are like beauty to the eye. We love rosy cheeks. We love curves. We love things that are health. And so when you take care of yourself and you do things to take care of yourself and support yourself, not only mentally are you knowing you're taking care of yourself, but that's going to reflect physically too. And that's a really cool thing working with people is when I see them start to glow and stand differently. And that can be much more powerful than a surgery. But there is a time and a place if it really matters to you and you're doing it in a way that's supportive and there's no judgment, but do all other stuff to support you too. Nothing's ever one thing.
Okay.
You don't want the one bullet, the one pill, the one thing, but to feel your best, to look your best, it's a
Okay, so I'm going to ask some questions that I know you in the audience want to know that we have never been able to ask. Like, do the waist trainers work?
So it's so funny because I have one here right now. I've always been not a huge fan, but that's because they're promoted as helping you lose weight.
So they do not help you lose weight.
No.
Well, that's impossible, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you take it off, like, yeah, your waist might feel smaller for a bit, and then likely you'll relax and
all you got to do is breathe.
But I'm a huge advocate of breath work core, and that's how I help bring my waist in. Of competing, how I brought my core back together post
Okay.
And so now I'm like, oh, actually, this is great. I can do my breath work core, put that on, and it'll just remind me to use it a bit. It also keeps my back flat during some of my deadlifts, exercises like that. And it's just a reminder to do that, to pull up bracing. And that's like so many things. Like things are a supplement to something else, but we want them to be the solution. So I actually do like it now. I don't think you should wear it all day, every day. But I think if you wear it in a smart way while understanding using your core properly, it can be beneficial. It's as an add-on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a person women carry most of their emotional weight in their area here. There's so much talk now about gut health. Why do you think there's so much talk about gut health?
That's almost annoying.
It is.
But it's true because everyone's just promoting a supplement for it. They're not actually.
Okay. Talk about it. Tell us.
Well, I had major stomach issues for a long time. And one thing I think is so important to talk about is mine was all stress related.
Let's talk about it.
So when I finally did deep therapy and I took medication to support my mental health, I had the most severe stomach issues before. I would get bloated out to here. I was always away someday. They mostly went away. And I eat dairy now. I eat things that I used to think were the culprits. And they're not. And the big thing with gut health is your gut thrives on variety. So getting a variety of fruits and vegetables, a variety of different things is going to feed your gut microbiome. But often we just go take this supplement, don't eat these foods. And that restriction, I believe, personally makes things worse. And that's why even as a bodybuilder, like you just don't want to eat just chicken and broccoli every day because you're going to have zero variety. You got to mix it up. But everyone wants the pill. Like, I do not want to be targeted for another gut health pill. Like it's all diet. We all need more fiber. We all need to drink more water. Most people think they have gut health issues, and I go, "Are you eating vegetables? Are you drinking water?" And they say, "No." I've done it too. It's okay.
And so that's what it is.
Yeah.
Jen, how much water intake do you really need to really help flush things through?
Everyone's different. Depends on your body size, and the people argue. A glass of good day. That is that's a lot of water. It's a lot. I've done that. She felt great when I did it, but it's a full-time job.
Isn't it? It is. This implies a lot.
Stay hydrated.
Right. Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I love asking all these questions. So what do you think about hydration therapy? Like hydration drip therapy or IV therapy?
Again, I'm sure you feel great when you do it, but drink water.
So it's the same thing?
I'm sure, honestly, like I know people usually use it for hangovers. I'm sure you get a bigger hydration, or if you've been sick, I'm sure it's really helpful. Or if someone offered it to me right now, I'd be like, sure, that sounds fun. And I'm sure I'd feel awesome. But again, we love jumping to these things. Like if you're not drinking enough water, just drink more water. Don't go get hydration therapy.
Gotcha. Okay. We're getting all that.
Okay. Old school.
No, B12. Good?
Yeah.
Does it really?
Again, include it in your diet. Eat B12 rich foods. Eat nutritional yeast.
Okay. You said what?
I've done a B12 injection. I felt great. But again, if I include it in my diet, I also feel great.
Okay. Vitamin E.
Vitamin E. I'm just eat foods with it.
Okay. See, I'm not. So in other words, you are not about taking these supplements. You are about getting it in the food.
Yeah, and supplements are supplements to something. So like I'm taking creatine now to help my muscle, but I'm also lifting weights and eating for it. The supplements can help. And then the problem is often we don't even know what we're using them for. We're taking too many. We don't know the source. So always know your source, know what you're using it for. And it can help, but it's not the solution.
Okay. This has been so helpful. So if you could, this is called at Going 180. So this is really about change, right? I mean, there's other things we want to talk about that we probably will need to have a part 2. Well, we can touch on it, and because we're talking about mental health and we're talking about emotional health. So immigration. I mean, I know this is a big topic for you right now. And it's a big topic in our world right now. But the reason why it's a big topic for you is because you are an immigrant and you came to the United States and you didn't. How did that work for you? So let's talk a little about that.
So my heart is really strong with immigrants right now because I am an immigrant. I come from Irish immigrants. And also I've been raised and loved by immigrants and undocumented people my whole life.
Okay.
And they're the most beautiful, hardworking people in the world. I think we're all humans. If paper means nothing. Having been through the immigration process, and I always say in the most privileged way possible, as a white English speaking Canadian woman, I had it pretty easy to. If someone took me away from my child right now, I cannot imagine anything worse.
Yeah. Could you? Yeah. It's the way that it's, of course, it's the way that we're going about it, which is it's inhumane.
It's inhumane.
And so I appreciate you sharing that part because I think that that's important. People look at people and they don't realize you look at yourself and like you said, the most privileged because you were white and you spoke English, but you were still an immigrant. And I think that people look at people and they judge without knowing.
We all do on some level, yeah.
Without knowing, they would have never looked at you and felt that you were an immigrant. And I say that because it's really sad because you could probably go anywhere from any in society and they would never pull you over.
Oh, I talk about this all the time. I have criminal lawyer clients. They tell me a story every day about someone who's arrested. And I say, if I did the exact same thing, they go, oh, they're fine. Yeah. And that's horrifying. That's not justice.
No, you are such a balanced and such a loving person because when the George Floyd situation happened, and we were in the middle of the pandemic, it was everything. And you came to Salinas without fee and worked out people. And we just did it because of in solidarity for the Black Lives Matter movement on the positive side of it. I mean, because people can pervert anything, right? Of course, but the positive side that we knew, I'm just so grateful for your heart, for your spirit, and for your transparency. You are definitely somebody that God uses to love his people because we're in a situation where there's just not any love. And so I'm just grateful for you and everybody that knows you and everybody that is connected to you in one way or another loves you because your heart is sincere. And so we just want to thank you for that. Not to mention your other journey. And then your whole honesty about your life, but your ability to look beyond yourself and to love others and to acknowledge truths and still project and to love others. And so we really appreciate your love and your heart and how God has really blessed you to anchor others. And God has used your life to heal others while you're healing yourself. And so I'm really appreciative and I love you as my friend. I love you. I don't deserve all that. Oh, you most definitely do. You do. Because love doesn't come easy. And it does come easy for people who are loving, but loving from a very sincere place is not easy in this world that we live in. And so when you find somebody that is loving and you find somebody that is kind, the first thing I would tell you is don't abuse it. Don't take advantage of it and do not take it for granted. That's another thing. That's good advice. Yeah, because that's not cool. So if we could really frame and talk about what would your Going 180 journey be? What would you want to call this this interview? What would you want to call your Going 180 process?
God. I think so much of it is learning to trust myself. And that includes my body, my knowledge, my strength, everything, you know, going out of living in fear and doubt and just, I guess, really working through love and trust of who I am, really.
Learning to trust myself. I think that'll be it. Yeah. Because sometimes we're not trustworthy to ourselves, right? We can damage ourselves. But I like that because it speaks to self-efficacy, which is believing that I can do something, right? I have to do that because if I don't, then I'm not going to be able to help anybody else, right? Yeah. Right. And then it'll impact your babies. It impacts everything.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyway, I am so excited, and this is going to be a blessing. We're going to edit this. We're going to have this to be something that it's going to launch this new episode of Fit Image. And you talked about so many things that we as a society, young people, before we end, I do want to say that if you could say one thing to a young woman coming into her own between the ages of 15 and 25 that are struggling with their fit image, what would you say to her?
Cut out the noise. I think there's so much noise, and really, if you learn to trust yourself and use logic as an emotional person, just using logic and again going, this quick fix, this trendy thing, this whatever, like who do I want to be as a woman 5 years from now? You know, and not getting your validation through the external and other people, but going, what empowers me? What is the kind of life I want to lead? What's the kind of person I want to be? Come to that, because you're such a vulnerable time where you want to be like other people and impress other people. And the social media, it's so much louder. But finding your own way, be yourself and find your own strength and your own empowerment and create the life you want, because you can do, oh my gosh, especially at that age, you could do anything. I did so many jobs and had so many adventures, and that's my greatest blessing. Is I thought, why not? Life is scary and hard. Why don't I just be brave and do it?
I love it. Be brave and do it. You hear it first from one of the best coaches on this side of heaven. Gillian, love that. Thank you. Love you.